And today we're going to talk about the different types of nozzles that you'll find on typical spray drones. And there's two basic types. One is rotary atomizers and the other is hydraulic nozzles. So rotary atomizers you'll find primarily on some of your imported spray drones. And they consist of a small disc that spins around like this, pretty fast actually, and it has serrated teeth around the perimeter of it. And as it spins around, the fluid is deposited on the inside of the disc, and as it spins, it hits those teeth and breaks off into little droplets. So that's one way that you can do that. And the other way is a hydraulic nozzle, similar to this nozzle that you see here. So for rotary atomizers, there are certain advantages and disadvantages of both of these types of nozzles. And sometimes you really may not have a choice. You know, if you buy a drone that has rotaries on it, that's just what you have to go with. But here are some of the advantages and disadvantages of each of these nozzles. So for the rotaries, the really nice thing about it is you can come into the field with a coarse droplet to minimize drift, you know, when you may have sensitive areas just adjacent to the field. And then once you get onto the interior of the field, then you spin it up a little bit faster, and it can apply a finer droplet, which would give good coverage, especially for like fungicides and insecticides. Some of the disadvantages of rotaries is that if you put too much material on that disc, it can actually flood the nozzle. Put too much material to where it can't fully atomize each of the droplets like it needs to, and you kind of lose control of that atomization process. So that's one of the disadvantages of the rotaries. The other thing that you'll find with that is with those little bitty teeth, they tend to produce a finer droplet spectrum. It's really hard to get a coarse or coarser spray out of the rotary. So make sure you do your pattern testing like we talked about a little bit before and determine what that droplet spectrum is. Make sure that you can abide by the label and you can get that coarse droplet spectrum. Don't depend on the software. The software might say that, you know, you're putting out a coarse spray. Hey, make sure, you know, trust but verify. Now with the hydraulic nozzles like these, let me turn this over a little bit like this. So this is one that Spraying Systems makes, but there's many manufacturers out there. These are hydraulic nozzles. The most common used for spray drones is a flat fan nozzle. So it makes this flat fan like this, and it has a certain angle, and it's just flat, right? So in this particular case, we have 110015. So the 110, the first three numbers indicate the angle that fan makes, and then the last three numbers, the 015, it refers to the flow rate at a standard pressure of 40 psi. So the 015 is 0.15 gallons per minute at 40 psi. So that's how you can look at these and you can understand what your flow rate is and what your fan angle is. Now each of the orifice sizes that are on these, they have a different color. So for green, it's 015. For an 01 nozzle, it's orange, and for an 02 nozzle, it's yellow. So it's a little easier to kind of keep those straight. And so it controls the application rate by the orifice size, okay? So the advantage of the hydraulic nozzles is they've been used for decades, and we know very well for a certain hydraulic nozzle at a certain pressure what the droplet size is that we're going to get out of that. So that's the really nice thing about them. One of the disadvantages is that you have to have a screen in line, otherwise these little bitty orifices can plug up. And so just make sure you keep a clean system in that, and it'll work just fine. So that's a couple of the different types of nozzles that you'll see on these spray drones: rotary atomizers and hydraulic nozzles. All right, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.
Well, thank you for watching. We hope you found this video helpful and informative as part of our spray drone training video series. My name is Madison Dixon, and I'm the Associate Director of the Mississippi State University Agricultural Autonomy Institute, and we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our many sponsors who made this video series possible. For more information, please visit arpa.org, rpaaa.org, or the Ag Autonomy Institute website at aai.msstate.edu. Thank you.